Hi y'all, welcome to this video. My name is Taria and today I'm going to be sharing my 2023 reading journal with you all. I am very excited, but I am also quite nervous because I know that I'm not really an artist, and on top of that, I really am not a perfectionist. Like, I kind of embrace some of the mistakes sometimes. And so you will see some of that on the pages here, but it's no worry to me and it shouldn't be a worry to anybody else because no one's perfect, right? But I'm really excited about my theme for this year. And so I'm going to start by showing my theme for last year just so you can get a good grasp of the differences that I decided to go with. And if that's something that interests you, well, just keep watching. Just popping in to say that I forgot to let you know that I'm going to be filling out these spreads for the very first time with you. I don't know why I forgot to say that. Alright y'all, so this is my reading journal for this year. I went with this black and bronzy theme, and as you can see, it's kind of like scrapbooky and a little vintagey, and I made it bookish by having these cutout pages of a book. I just wanted to show you what last year's looked like. So last year was my first time really messing around with the scrapbooky type theme. I ended up going with this lighter, brighter red theme. I wanted something a little bit deeper, so I chose black, but I didn't want to just do like black and gold. I mean, it's fine. I just feel like I've done that color combination a lot. And so I scoured Amazon for some bronze gel pen, and this keeps doing that. But I scoured Amazon for some bronze gel pens, and I found one in a set of Uniball Signos. So it had like a white and a gold, and it also had a bronze and silver and just a bunch of different types of colors that honestly I didn't need, but like, you know, fun to have. And it really just brought the whole spread together. It doesn't seem like it's translating that well on camera, but maybe I can do some color correcting and editing. So something I did this year that I didn't do last year is I added a review page. And so a 2022 reading reviews, what I did last year that I was happy about, what I did that I feel like I can improve upon, and then my 2023 reading goals, you know, just kind of looking ahead into the future. So last year I did not set a reading goal for myself. I just wanted to see naturally what would I do if I didn't like confine myself with the goal. And I ended up reading 52 books, which is averages about a book a week, which was fantastic. And then I just wrote, I felt happy that I finished 52 books. And then I actually wrote down the stats here. I read 15 books by authors of color, which ends up being 29%. That number is way too low. And then I read 45 books by female authors, which ends up being 86.5, so I'll just round that up to 87. I feel like that's a really good, like I'm already doing really good there. I don't need to make that a particular focus to do better on. I read books published mostly in 2022. I wrote here 22 books, 40%, and I'm like, what does that mean? I think I meant I read 22 in 2022, which is poetic, and that ends up being 40% of my reading. My most read genres, let's see, I read 19 romance, 11 thrillers, 6 historical fictions. So I'm gonna just write that down. I feel like I read more than 11 thrillers, but some books I kind of categorize more of like a mystery or just slightly suspenseful or like a dark psychological drama. And then one book was technically a thriller, but it was also YA, so I put the primary genre as YA, but really it's just slightly less thrillers than romance. And then I read from 4 repeat authors. and I read, let's get this white one, from 14 debut authors. I always find that reading from debut authors is really fun. I wish I could have read more of, I'm just gonna write authors of color. I'm proud of myself for diversifying. Look how straight my lines are, y'all. Next is my anticipated TBR. So this is a page for me to go month by month and just choose books that I decide I want to read in a random month. So for instance, I might have like, I don't know, On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, and I want to read that in March because it feels like a March book to me. Well, I can just write for March, On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, and whenever March comes around, I can flip through and say, oh yeah, I wanted to read that book this month. I'm not gonna fill it out for January because, as I've stated, we are already well into January, but I do have some books I know I want to read in February. And that includes Legendborn, which I'm so excited for. I also want to read Love in the Time of Serial Killers. I feel like that would be fun for Valentine's Day. And Legends and Lattes, which is already on hold for me at my library. Those are all L books, and then 2 of them have the word legend. Perfect. Okay, these are some of my favorites. So I have my Dusty TBR, which is a term that I first heard from Plant-Based Bride. That's basically books that have been on your shelf or your virtual shelf for so long that they are basically just collecting dust at this point, and you gotta read them. So last year I did 22 books for 2022 that I wanted to get to. This year I just narrowed it down to 15 that I really felt like I had a good chance of picking up and finishing this year. Some of this stuff carried over from last year too, and I think over half of these books I own physically now, so there really is no excuse. I just gotta get to these books. And then I did 23 new releases, obviously 23 because we are in the year 2023, and I just want to take some time to appreciate the way that I did this side here. It's like my favorite. I ended up doing it a couple times throughout these spreads, and it's just taking some washi tape and just tearing it down the center, and I did it layered on top of each other, some little stars, you know. And so I put these books here in kind of like a rainbowish order, and off the top of my head I would say Love Theoretically, Happy Place, Silver Nitrate, Sorry Bro. I feel like those are going to be some of my top reads of the year. And actually, if you look close, you can see that this is only 22 books, and that is because Along Came Amor from Alexis Daria has not come out yet. I probably should have just went with another title because Along Came Amor by Alexis Daria. This cover hasn't been revealed yet, so I couldn't go get it printed. I probably should have just went with another book. In general, I don't know, for whatever reason, I feel like the book is taking a really long time to come out, so I'm starting to lose a little bit of interest. And I've seen some other books that I'm really excited for that I'm like, man, I wish I put that on this instead. But anyway, I'm not gonna complain. And then we get to my actual trackers. So this is my book tracker. I keep it like spreadsheet style. I don't do the where it looks like a bookshelf and you just write the title on every book, because I actually want to look at some of the stats here and be able to keep a rating, and I don't know, just like for quick reference. And I ended up messing up, and here I put author instead of title. But yeah, that should say title. I can keep the title. This has, let's see, 31 spaces. And author, the month I read it, the genre, the subgenre or the trope, and the year it was published, and then my rating. And I have 2 pages of that. On this one, I actually did put title, so you know, give me some credit there. And you know how I said I wanted to read 65 books this year? Well, these 2 spreads end up only holding like 63 or 64 spots. So I don't know, maybe I'll condense 2 into 1 if I read a series and I have like both the books I give the same star rating to. I can just put them on the same line. Maybe that'll end up happening. So let's go ahead and fill out for some of the books that I've already finished this year. My first book was Comfort Me with Apples, and I read that as a buddy read actually. have a author tracker. This is just to keep me on top of diversifying my reads. Obviously, I can make this way more diverse. I will say that it is tricky whenever it comes to race, because there's a lot of authors that don't make that very blatant, like they're not gonna put my race is this in their bio, but some of them do, and then some of them you feel like visually it's obvious, but then you're like, well, does that make me presumptuous? So all I ask for is just a little bit of grace in case I get anyone's race wrong. The most important thing is that I'm just not sticking to straight up white authors. But like I said, sometimes you can't tell and it's not readily available information. And then this is another one of my favorites. So this is for me to keep track of all the books that I've been buying, the books that I read as a part of a collaboration. So for what I mean there is like things I read as buddy reads, or for readathons, or for book clubs, and basically just things that are collaborative efforts, things where I didn't feel so alone in my reading process. I wanted to keep track of that, you know, what the book was, who I read it with. And then the worst page, and it's my book bracket. So last year I did a more horizontal book bracket, I'll show you. And that was really easy to make. I wanted to do it more vertical this time because I keep seeing them all over, and you know what? I thought I'll give that a try. And I screwed up on it so bad, so many times. And you can see my whiteout didn't match the white of my paper, and so that's hilarious. But yeah, basically you would just do little head-to-head battles. So favorite month, favorite book in January, February, March, you put those head-to-head, and then pick your favorite two, put those head-to-head, pick your favorite one, and you know, eventually you put all of these, you put them all against each other, and you find your number one favorite book of the year. It's just a fun little thing to do toward the end of the year. And then, this makes me so happy. This is my book awards. So this is the only time in this spread that I've actually incorporated gold. And the reason why is because whenever I got these flower stickers, they came with a bunch of gold foil ones that I thought were really beautiful. And you know, for awards, most awards are gold, so I did figure let's incorporate some gold with the bronze for the book awards because it's really special. And I've never done anything like this before, but I do think it's important to keep track of not just what I liked, but you know, the superlatives of it all, I guess. So I have my favorite book of the year, book I feel like was the best written, my best rated genre, the funnest read, the book that was the most emotional, most worth the hype, and then best book of the month book, because I do have a subscription for that, my favorite debut, my favorite couple, my favorite character, my favorite series, and the best cover. So I'm going to print out tiny little covers and place them around here, and maybe write like a paragraph or a sentence or two for each of the books. I think it's going to look really cute in December whenever I'm able to actually fill this out. But along with the best books of the year, I also want to keep track of the worst books of the year. So I have here my wall of shame, my least favorite book, worst written, lowest rated genre, not worth the hype, most boring, worst character, worst couple, a book that made me angry, the most forgettable book, which, look, if you're forgettable, that's a special kind of bad, because you could be bad in a way that's memorable, but if I just don't remember that I ever read you, I feel like you deserve to to feel a little bad about that. And then I have worst cover. And I feel like I'll have a lot more contenders for worst cover than best cover, but that's just me. And so that's the last of my finished spreads. I have this page here for manga tracker. So like I said, I am getting into manga. And I think I want to do a page here keeping track of the mangas that I read, and then maybe like a manga awards page, so that this stuff can be separate, because with manga you read so many of it, they go by so quickly, and there's so many volumes, it's hard to just keep track of that along with your normal book tracking. And then here I want to do an annotation cheat sheet, probably on this page or this page, and I'm thinking of doing a book bingo. After that, the rest of these pages will just be for notes. I'll keep, notes on characters, predictions. I don't notate on most of the books that I read, but in the case that I do need to, I would use these pages for that. And then also, I want to track like book reviews for 5-star books and 1-star books, and for none of the books in between. Even if it's 4.75, I only want to track the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows, so that I can go back and be like, oh yeah, that book was so freaking good. For reference, this is what it looked like on some of my spreads for last year. These are some of the 5-star books. I had Stuck With You by Ali Hazelwood, a summary, why I loved it, the tropes, who I'd recommend this book to, things like that. I did a secondary page for It Ends With Us with like little quotes and stuff. I have the one by John Mars, and I try to decorate it like kind of how that book cover is. And then here's a page of note-taking. When I read Piranesi, none of these things ended up being relevant to the overall plot. And then here's a page of a 1-star, because I really just go back and look at this and laugh all the time. I wrote, this book is for patient, emotionally fulfilled people with lots of time on their hands and no sense of humor. I am sorry if you liked that book. Not trying to be harsh, but it was garbage. Anyway, if I end up filling these out, I will definitely include them in like maybe a mid-year flip through, if y'all are interested in that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm glad that I finally got to sit down and show y'all what this looked like. Mistakes and all, like you can even see I have some ghosting on the pages. That doesn't really bother me. It's important to, show others that we're gonna mess up sometimes and things aren't gonna always come out the way that you planned, but it doesn't mean that it's not cute and that it's not functional and that you didn't have fun making it, because I had so much fun making this. But yeah, if you had any questions, definitely comment and let me know. Let me know if you like it. Let me know what your theme was, if you keep a book journal. So I will list in the description box all the stationery that I used to create this, and grab some links for y'all. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this, and you all take care.